let's talk a little bit about tile in the fields. The majority of the fields that I would assume Wolf wants to cross, that Navigator wants to cross, are flat pattern tiled fields. This is a picture of us installing tile just a few weeks ago in a field right next to where the proposed pipeline path is. And what we're doing here is we're putting 4-inch corrugated tile into the ground to drain the soil. We do this to keep the amount of water in the top of the soil down so the crops don't get drowned out. Whenever there's a heavy rain or too much precipitation, we don't want the crops to drown out. So we put this 4-inch tile in the ground. It's on 40-foot centers. And this is what it looks like after we install it. Here's a picture of the field then. This is a field that's had 40-foot laterals laid on it. These laterals are usually between 30 and 36 inches deep. We don't want to go too deep because we want to leave moisture down below the ground, below the 30-inch level. We want to leave moisture down there for the crop to grow. This is what a pattern tiled field looks like. So when you get done tiling the fields in, we have all these tile there. Most of them are laid on about a 2/10 grade per 100 feet. So that's not a lot of slope, and it's pretty exact. So here's a picture of a field that we tiled just this past fall. This is an 80-acre field. And when I get done here, I have a picture. I just got a new packet from Navigator this week. I have a picture of the way they want to go diagonally across a field like this. So imagine a pipeline 5 feet deep in the ground. They're going to come in and clear topsoil 125 feet wide, so they have a working an area to work in, and going diagonally across that field. I estimate there's between 40 and 50 tile lines they're going to cut. On the average, we have about I think about 120 or 130 tile lines in an 80-acre field on the average. Some are more complex than others. But this is what a tile map looks like then, that we use to drain our fields with. So it's well known that when pipeline companies come in to work on tile, or when they come in to work and install pipelines, they don't care what the weather is. If the crew is there, they're going to work. And this is you can see the tile up on top of the ground here. This is an area in a field that was cleared. They were working on it, got heavy rainfall. And this is what it looks like. So I have trouble envisioning what it would look like to try to reinstall tile in a wet, muddy mess like that. So after the tile are put in the ground then, I assume ADM will offer some compensation for a couple of years, just like Navigator is. So this is a picture of a tile line 2 years. This is a picture of a pipeline 2 years after it went across the field. And obviously it's quite evident there. And you can see with the yellow diagonal strip across the field, there's a significant crop yield impact there. I'm not sure, but I would estimate that would be like a 30 or 40% loss of crop. So, and it doesn't just stop there. So here, straight through the middle of this photo here, this is a pipeline that was put in 8 years ago. And you can still see where the pipeline went through. It's really hard to ever return the soil. When you scrape away topsoil, compact subsoil, it's just really hard to return the soil to its natural flow, because when you compact that subsoil, freezing never goes deep enough. You can't run tillage tools deep enough. And that ground below there that the heavy equipment ran on has just compacted things so much that water will not penetrate it. Roots from corn and soybeans will not penetrate it, and it'll just be impossible for crops to grow back to their natural way. So talking about tile for a minute, and I just spoke with a land agent today, and we had a really interesting conversation because I asked him, I said, so what's your plan to reinstall tile lines? And the fact of the matter is, at least with Navigator, there is no plan. They said, well, we're going to find local contractors that want to come in and do this. Well, I'm not sure I've got any local contractors next to me that want to come in and repair the damage in a field like this. And then land agent also told me, he says, and oh, what you'll have to do is wherever the pipeline goes through the field, you'll have to put in new laterals and reattach all the, you'll have to put in new mains and reattach all the laterals to the mains end to get it to drain, and find some way to drain that out of the field. And some of these fields that they want to cross of ours, I can see that the angle they want to cross that, it would be impossible to put a lateral, put a main tile line in next to the pipeline to pick up the laterals and have the correct slope to get the field drained out. They also told me that so when they come into work, you know, the permanent easement they're asking for is 50 feet wide when they come into work. The temporary easement then is another 75 feet. So they're gonna clear out and be working on a 125-foot wide swath through the field. Usually they take the topsoil down about 24 inches. So you can imagine what it's like when that much topsoil is removed, what they're doing compacting the subsoil then. So there are some studies that have been done. Here's one by Iowa State that shows because corn yields were reduced, an average of 25 for soybeans and an average of 15 for corn during the first and second crop seasons. I think there's some of these fields. We have a natural gas pipeline that was put in 55 years ago in one of our farms, and I can still see the diagonal line across the field from where it was put in. We're still dealing with compaction from when it was done. So a lot of land impact, and when land is bringing the kind of values it is right now, if you're a farmer, you need to be really concerned. I would also encourage you, you know, you're going to get, so this is what, that's not a very good picture, but there's there's the pipeline going across the field at a diagonal. So that's what it looks like when you get your offer from the pipeline company. And you'll also receive a page like this that has the compensation package in it. Take a really good look at it, and I would suggest that no one sign anything without talking to their attorney. There was 3 separate contracts in the packet we got from Navigator, and nothing in the contracts was written in the favor of the farmer. So if you want to try and negotiate, I would suggest, well, first of all, I would suggest not negotiating. I'm not sure we need the pipeline, and I don't want it crossing my prime farmland. But if you do, if it does come to the point where we need to band together and seek some very good legal representation. Thank you.